Officer Truman Fitzgerald with the Birmingham Police Department's Public Information Division. And right now, our officers and detectives are on the scene of a homicide along with multiple people shot. At around 8 p.m. tonight, North Precinct officers were dispatched to the Chevron located at 1525 Finley Boulevard on report of multiple people shot as well as multiple people shooting at each other. Our officers arrived on the scene when they observed a vehicle that had collided into a tree. Upon further investigation, they observed who we believe to be an adult female inside suffering from a gunshot wound, as well as who we also believe to be an adult male inside suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. Officers also located a third male who was suffering from a gunshot wound. He was on foot and he was walking near the scene. Birmingham Fire Rescue personnel arrived on the scene and they pronounced one of the males inside of the vehicle deceased. The adult female was transported to a local area hospital. We believe she has non-life-threatening injuries. The third male that was on foot away from the vehicle has suffered non-life-threatening injuries from this incident. The preliminary investigation thus far has revealed that we believe that some sort of possible shootout took place in the 1600 block of Finley Boulevard, which if you look to my left and you guys' right, near the intersection is where you're going to see some of the spent shell casings. We believe that two groups were shooting at one another. One of the groups was struck by gunfire inside of the vehicle. No one's in custody. We're asking if anyone was in this nearby area tonight, give us a call directly, 205-254-1764, or you can remain anonymous. Dial Crime Stoppers, 205-254-7777.
So it didn't happen at the Chevron?
Our officers originally thought it happened at the Chevron. Upon further investigation, we believe that one of the shooters was possibly shooting at the victims from the Chevron parking lot.
Do you have any idea how many shots were fired?
Unknown at this time.
Were they both in the car, both groups shooting at each other, originally starting in cars?
Let me explain just how bold this incident was. An officer told me that you had two groups shooting at one another inside of a vehicle. Vehicle is trying to flee the scene. Person gets out on foot near the Chevron parking lot and begins to fire additional shots at these victims.
So one of the shooters was in a vehicle and got out.
Yes, ma'am.
Continued to shoot.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know the relationship with the third person that was now not in the vehicle to the two in the vehicle?
Unknown at this time. Our officers were trying to speak to that individual. So we're hoping that once our officers get to that local area hospital, that person's able to provide us with some information that can assist our detectives.
Just looking at the scene in the perimeter, it looks like there's some other cars and some other people that maybe got kind of caught up or anything like that. Can you kind of explain to us what this scene is? It's obviously very big.
Sure. Right now, we are in the 1500 block of Finley Boulevard, which anyone that's familiar with Birmingham, Nikki's West can give you a good reference point to how busy of an area in town that we're in. So we have individuals that were shooting at one another in the middle of Finley Boulevard.
So do you think that the car that was approached and got fired at was targeted, or that the car that got fired at was already on and ready to shoot back?
From speaking with officers and detectives on the scene, we definitely believe this is a targeted incident.
Were there guns found in the vehicle?
Unknown at this time. The coroner's office is on the scene, and our detectives will transport this vehicle for processing.
So do you think the victims were involved in the shootout or caught in the process?
We believe that the victims had part in this. Trying to figure out what exact part that is, our detectives are working on that right now.
Well, being so close that I see houses, a gas station, talk to me, knowing that they got out of the car and were firing shots at vehicles, tell me what, could have also happened here to some people who were maybe caught in the crossfire.
Well, when you think about it, there's probably not one place in someone's life that's more unavoidable than a gas station. You have to get gas at some point if you drive a vehicle. So when you have individuals shooting at one another in a gas station, not to mention one of the busiest thoroughfares that we have in Birmingham, Finley Boulevard, you risk multiple people getting shot. And unfortunately tonight we had that incident. 3 people shot, 1 deceased, and it's just a tragic night.
And we all hear family and people, friends sounding like they're crying, they're upset. What do you think that just speaks to the gun crime that is here in Birmingham, affecting people and impacting them?
This is real. What you just heard, if you heard that, those screams, those cries, that is a real life scene of what happens on this. And that's something you never get used to.
Did a shot spotter alert you guys to a certain number of shots? I know you mentioned that you didn't know exactly how many.
Detectives are going to speak to our radio room and see just how shot spotter played a effect into this case.
And is there any cameras or anything in the area you guys can potentially tap into? Could we maybe hopefully get pictures of the vehicles or anything like that, or are the vehicles still in the area?
That's something our detectives are going to look into. We're very fortunate that we have a lot of businesses in this area, so we're going to try to tap into some of those resources. But we do want to point out, what you're hearing, that's real life. This is a family that has lost their loved one, and, it's raw emotions, and like I said, you never get used to this.